Can ChatGPT help you make more money online? Can ChatGPT help you get more sales? Guys, the answer is yes. And ChatGPT just released a free prompt pack with their favorite prompts for salespeople. There's a bunch of them. They're all completely free. And in today's video, I'm gonna go through a few of my favorite, and we're gonna examine some of the key features of these prompts and why they are so powerful. Guys, by this video, you're gonna have about 10 different prompts that you could go copy paste into your organization and start closing more deals. If that sounds good, this is the time to hit like, subscribe, because I'm the guy who's bringing you fresh videos 6 days a week on how AI is changing the workforce and how you as a man can stay relevant, respected, and financially free during this insane time. Quick side note, you definitely want to stick around to the end of the video. At the end of the video, I'm going to give you 2 really powerful tips, because we're going to go through the prompts first, and then at the end, 2 very powerful tips on how to actually leverage them and take them to the next level. Because at this point, guys, most people know I should use ChatGPT for prompts, but what you might not know is how to do it right and how to automate it. So I'm going to talk about that at the end of the video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. So we're going to knock this out in a few different parts, and we're going to start off with the communication prompts. And this first prompt is going to help you to draft a personalized cold outreach email. And here's how the prompt looks. Write a short, compelling cold email to a said job title at company name, introducing our product. Use the background below to customize it. And in the background, you're going to insert value props or ideal customer profile information. And then you're going to finalize this prompt by saying format an email ready text. Now guys, what I think is important here is that it ends with the formatting. How do you want it to be delivered? You want it to be delivered in email ready text. If you miss that part, you're going to get a bad output. With prompts, it's all about the inputs and the outputs. And what I want you to pay attention to in these prompts is how ChatGPT recommends that you format your prompts. These are not huge mega prompts, although there is some power in these huge long paragraph size mega prompts. But what I find interesting about this is ChatGPT wants you to have success. OpenAI wants you to crush your sales. And they're saying, listen, 3 or 4 sentences, here's the key information. And you'll note that all these prompts end with the format that you want your response to be in. Okay, let's go move on to the next one. Draft renewal pitch for a key customer. Your key customer is about to renew. You got to send them a prompt. You got to send them an email. What does that prompt look like? Here's the prompt. Draft a renewal pitch for customer name based on this renewal history and value data. And then you paste the data. Include key return on investment proof points and a renewal recommendation. Output is a short pitch and optional follow-up email. So again, you know, they might miss their first email, you got the follow-up email. The way you want to format is interesting. What also I think is important here is the importance of pasting your data. And I've talked about this a number of times on the channel, guys. Your outputs are only as good as your inputs when it comes to these LLMs. So with something like ChatGPT, you want to make sure you have good data, you have good charts, you have spreadsheets. Uploading this stuff to ChatGPT is going to give you a better result. Also worth noting, don't insert sensitive personal information or trade secrets into an LLM like ChatGPT, because honestly, we don't know exactly where it's going. So if you have stuff that's very, very sensitive, be careful. Okay, next, let's look at strategy. Let's look at how we can use AI and ChatGPT to develop our strategy. So this prompt is to help you generate strategic account plan. Generate a strategic account plan. And here's the prompt. Create an account plan for customer name. Use these inputs: company profile, node priorities, current product usage, stakeholders, and renewal date. Output a structured plan with goals, risks, opportunities, and next steps. Pretty solid there, Again, you might put in some additional information, some additional inputs. You might even include a chart or a graph, but I think that this is really solid. And again, like, I think this is important, guys. I'm gonna hit on this again. You'll note that at the end of all of these prompts, it clarifies what you want the output to look like. What do you want the output to look like? In this case, we want that output to look like a structured plan with goals, risks, opportunities, and next steps. In the previous one, we want the output to be a short pitch with a follow-up email. We don't start with what we want, we end with what we want. You follow? The ordering's important, guys, because these LLMs do prioritize their output based on the order of the input. So keep that in mind when you're using ChatGPT. Okay, next, regional market entry planning. Here's the prompt. I'm evaluating market entry into a region/country for our product/SaaS solution. Research local buying behaviors, competitive landscape, economic conditions, and regulatory concerns. Format is a go/no-go market readiness summary with citations and action steps. So again, this is, I think, a really solid one. You can see how this could be used in different ways too. It doesn't necessarily need to be a new region. This could be, hey, I'm looking at getting into a new demographic or a new customer profile. Okay, maybe you are trying to move into, you're trying to sell your product to a different store or a different distribution center. So again, you can start to see how using this as a strategy tool is important. And you'll also know one of the things I like here is the ending again. I keep highlighting this because I think it's really important because your output is only as good as your input. And this input here, format is a go, no-go market readiness summary with citations and action steps, because that's what you want. You want citations and action steps. Really, really solid stuff there. Hey. Okay, next, we're gonna look at competitive intelligence. Competitive intelligence. It's kind of funny, just a quick side note. I'm in the middle of a Google ad war with one of our company's biggest competitors, and some of these ideas here I'm gonna be taking to the bank and gonna be using to crush the competition because they are outbidding us on Google Ads right now. They're a bigger company. They're a Goliath to our David. We got a strong company. We're doing 3 million in ARR, but these guys are closer to 30 million ARR. But we're not gonna let them take us down. We're gonna use these strategies to crush them, and I'll continue to report on how AI plays a part in that. Anyway, let's talk about competitive intelligence here. By the way, if you're enjoying the video, smash the like and subscribe button. That helps me reach more men. That helps us build this community. And by the way, if you have a sick prompt, put it in the comments below, guys. If you have a really sick prompt, I will pin your prompt. I will pin that comment because at the end of the day, that's what this is about. This is about us surviving and thriving and remaining relevant, respected, and financially free, guys. This is a crazy time in human history. Okay, competitive intelligence. And this prompt is for competitive positioning analysis. The prompt: I'm preparing a competitive battle card for competitor name. Research their pricing model, product positioning, recent customer wins/losses, and sales motion. That's powerful. Compare it to ours based on these strengths, and then we insert our strengths. Output a one-page summary with citations. I love this one because basically what you're saying is, ChatGPT, go out through the internet, find all the data, research all the news, and find me the opportunities and leaks in our competitor. Just a quick side note, that is something you can also do because sometimes these LLMs can go and just pull kind of like bad third-party data off the web. Instead of just leveraging that, you might say, hey, only use these reputable sources or only use these data points. If you stick around to the end, I have another way you can take that to the next level, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. Anyway, I love that. Output a one-page summary with citations, guys, with citations. Always ask for citations from these programs. Okay. Next, create a sales enablement one-pager. Here's the prompt. Create a one-pager that helps reps pitch product name, 2, customer persona, include key benefits, features, common use cases, and competitor differentiators. Format as a copy read enablement doc. Really solid. I like this a lot. I think it really helps, especially if you're a sales leader and you need to train your sales team. Giving them tools, talking points is really key. I also love this idea of format as a copy ready enablement doc. Again, that output, I keep punching it because I just think it's so important. Next, we're gonna look at some data analysis prompts here, okay? Just so you look like an all-star when you go and you meet with the sales leadership team or the marketing leader or the CEO of your organization. Going in using ChatGPT to prepare, guys, is gonna make you look like a freaking G. So let's look at the data analysis, okay? This one is to analyze pipeline conversion rates by stage. And here's the prompt. Analyze the sales pipeline export. Analyze this sales pipeline export. calculate conversion rates between each stage, and identify the biggest drop-off point. Data. We're going to upload our pipeline CSV, and then we ask it to output a short summary and a table of conversion percentage by stage. Output a short summary and a table conversion percentage by stage. You know, in some cases you might be able to find this stuff pretty easily. It depends on how organized your company is with the data and the conversion and attribution tracking metrics. I know I'm using some big language here, but long story short, if you've got a bunch of sales data, input it, ask ChatGPT to look through it. All right, we'll keep it simple. The next one they have here is identify top performing reps by close rate. Here's a prompt. From this data set of rep activities and closed deals, calculate the close rate of each rep and rank them. Ooh, your sales team's gonna love that. Data, upload a rep performance CSV. Output a ranked list and a sentence for each rep's strengths. I love doing this too, by the way, and I actually covered this in a video a couple days ago. I'll post a link to it here on how a friend of mine is using AI to really scale up his auto mechanic shops, using AI in some really cool ways. I think there's maybe 600 comments on that video, so go check that one out. But one of the ideas that I mentioned there is that you can use AI as a tool to review data and bring it as a neutral third party to your teams to essentially say, hey, I plugged in all your sales data in ChatGPT and this is what it told me, what do you think? Now all of a sudden, you're not the bad guy. You're there to help them. You're just saying, hey, this is what ChatGPT said. I don't know what you think. I'm like, oh, okay, well I could do here better. It's a kind of a good way of bringing in a neutral third party. By the way, if you had a lot of drama with your wife too, for all the dads out there, all the men out there, all the married men out there, don't be too proud to bring in a marriage counselor. I've gone through marriage counseling. I have someone essentially on speed dial that I can bring in if we have a fight, because the nice thing about that is you have a neutral third party to tell your wife when she's wrong, okay? Because it just hits different when it comes from a neutral third party, all right? That's a pro tip for all the married guys out there. I've been married over 10 years, been with my wife almost 20 years, so I feel like I'm qualified enough to speak on this. Anyway, marriage counselor, ChatGPT, same difference. You have a neutral third party to tell your wife when she's wrong, all right? Pro tip. Okay, visuals. And we're getting close to the end, guys. If you stick around at the very end, I've got two really sick tips here, I think, for you. So, visuals. Illustrate key sales personas, okay? And here's the prompt. Create professional illustrations for 3 personas. CFO of a mid-market company, VP of IT at a global enterprise, and operations manager at a logistics firm. Style should be flat and modern, ideal for use in a one-pager or training slide. And again, it's unbelievable how easy it is to create really professional images instantly. People say that AI is not creative. Try doing generate an image and tell me it's not creative, okay? At any rate, these images can be used on social media, on one-pagers, slide decks, websites, training manuals, lots of cool stuff there. Here's another one. Draft a team celebration graphic. Design a fun, modern graphic to celebrate top rep of the month. Include a placeholder for name photo and stylized trophy or badge. Style should match internal brand or newsletter vibe. Again, just kind of a fun thing to do with a team. Again, using ChatGPT as a way to generate images is something I think that's underrated. All right, guys, you've made it to the end. I've got my top 2 tips here on ways to take all these prompts to the next level. Now, I talked about key things that you can put at the end of your prompts to make sure that you're getting the prompt and the prompt's output. You're getting the prompt output in a format that is going to work for you, okay? And when I look at this, there's a few very commonly used prompts that endpoints and formats that ChatGPT recommends here. So the first, I'm just going to run through them real quick. Email ready text, export as a list, structured plan, table format, one-page summary, include links, include citations. Those are some quick tips there. If you're ending your prompts with the format that you want, you're going to get a better response, okay? And then this point I think is really important. And I'm just going to take this to the next level here for you. I'm not going to go deep into detail here. But if you are on a paid ChatGPT, which is $20 a month for the entry level, they're different tiers, but for $20 a month, you're going to get agent mode. And what agent mode allows you to do is essentially send ChatGPT out through the internet to perform tasks for you on your behalf. And this is incredibly, incredibly powerful. Once you start understanding the prompts that you're using, you can take them up to the next level by turning on agent mode and letting them go out on the web. And it can log into different platforms for you. It can write creative, it can draft, it can do a bunch of different tasks all in order. Guys, this is the future. This is how you become a superhuman. This is how you become super powerful. I'm using agent mode a little bit now. I want to be using it a lot of bit because it is incredibly powerful once you start using it for tasks. And I'll give you one example of how you can use some of the prompts that we talked, one of the prompts here today, to take it into agent mode, okay? And here's an example. Go into my email for any past unread emails and draft responses and draft responses with insert prompt. So, you know, I get a ton of people that want to be on my podcast. I've kind of paused it for a while because I'm just so devoted to what we're doing here. But I could have it go in there. I could have this agent mode go in there and just respond to all the unresponded emails. I'll give you another example. I was looking for sponsors for my newsletter. I said, ChatGPT, this is my newsletter. Go out and find sponsors, write them emails. And it did that. Found 50. And so you can use this agent mode to turn yourself into a superhuman. I would encourage you to check that out. At any rate, appreciate you being here, guys. Glad you enjoyed the video. Go out, use these prompts, crush your sales goals. Crush your sales goals, okay? And if you do crush them, leave a comment below. I want to hear about it. I want to know about it. And if you enjoyed this video, if you see where things are going, you are going to love yesterday's video because I explain exactly how one of the largest airlines in the world is firing tons and tons and tons of people. Why? AI and automation in the workplace. You heard it here first, boys. It is happening. All right, appreciate you. Go make it count. I'll see you later, boys. Peace.